right, we are live.
All right, everybody, we are Facebook Live here at Dagwood's Pub. The man to my right needs no introduction. Number 7, the Polish Rifle, Ron Jaworski.
Thank you. I am proud and honored to be here at Dagwood's. Oh, just a great crowd. We've been having fun for about the first half hour. We got another hour and a half to go. We're going to have a good time.
Exactly. Always have a good time here.
All right, couple of business matters to take care of. Natalie and Sam are your servers and bartenders back there doing a phenomenal job. Please take care of them. Ed and Nikki, the owners here at Dagwood's, I can't thank them enough for allowing us to come here every month. We've had some great guests, but we've really turned it up this month. When Ron, graciously accepted to come out and be part of this, I got goosebumps. It took me back to 1980, the championship game. I don't know about you guys, but that was a hell of a game. And we talk about relationships, right? Whether it be man and woman, whatever it may be, right? Quarterback, wide receiver, coach. Let's throw it over to Jaws a little bit to talk about, relationships and what he's developed over the years. And God knows he's been around. So, Jaws, why don't you take it away?
Well, thank you very much. But before I get to talking about me, let me talk a little bit about a guest that you had here a moment ago before we went on the air. And we talk about building relationships. This is how you build relationships in the community. With the show that you now have with the folks here at Dagwood's. You brought up a young lady that's been teaching for 25 years and recognized here. That says something about this community and your show. You recognize people that really do build relationships. So I'm trying to look around and find that lovely young lady that you guys gave her a nice fanatic book, whatever you may want to call it. But congratulations, the bobblehead. Those are the people that we should recognize, not always our athletes and different celebrities, people like that are really down, laying the foundation. As you got a lot of young people out here in the audience as well. It's always great to see that. But the teachers are the people that we ultimately don't give enough credit to. They do build relationships. And thanks for giving me the lead on that. Because I my whole life has kind of been relationships. First of all, I've been married for 47 years to the same woman. So that's where it all started. And there've been ups and downs, mostly because I'm not around. That's usually the way it is. I'm traveling all the time, and she kept hanging out with me and loving me just the same. So I've been very fortunate in that relationship. I have 2 daughters, a son, and 7 grandsons. So obviously you develop relationships that way with family. So family is always first. And when I was playing football, my football family was very important. And as I've watched the game evolve nowadays, I think it's harder to develop those relationships with players. I think I can think back to my playing days. I had Hall of Famer Harold Carmichael, Mike Quick. It would have been a Hall of Famer if he didn't blow his knees out. I'm just great receiver, great talent. And in the off season, we would work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the old vet. And we actually practiced in the off season. Coach was on the field. Sid Gilman, Hall of Famer. Dick Vermeil going in the Hall of Fame. We practiced in the off season. Now, under the new collective bargaining agreement, these guys are hardly ever together. And you develop those relationships after you practice for 2 hours, throwing 36,000 balls in the offseason. Practice is over, you stop, you grab lunch, maybe grab a beer, and get to know each other, get to know each other's family. So when you're in that huddle and it's 3rd and 10, and you got to make a play to win a football game, I can trust Mike Quick. Right. I can trust Harold Carmichael. I can trust Wilbur Montgomery because, hey, we've been through this 1,000 times in the offseason. I know when I hit that 5th step, my 5-step drop in 2.1 seconds, he's going to make his break at 12 yards. That ball's going to be in the air. That's trust. That's a relationship you develop. And that kind of bothers me a little bit about today's game. The way it's structured, it's much more difficult for young quarterbacks and wide receivers to progress as I thought they did when we'd have all those off-season practices.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder thing to do. Even we talk about it with baseball as well. Like Dutch Dalton and all those guys, they hung out with each other all night long, and I'm sure that you guys did as well. After games, it's not just everybody now goes on their own.
It's funny you mention this. When my era from 77 to 86, was a the 80 season was probably one of the greatest seasons in the history of Philadelphia sports.
Yes.
You know, the Flyers, the Sixers, the Eagles. What did I miss?
And the Phillies.
And the Phillies, yeah, they won the World Series.
They won,
I should mention them. But it's just been unparalleled. All 4 teams in the major sports in this city were in the championship game. I mean, this truly was the city of champions.
Right.
It really was. And the players hung out together. Like Doug Collins was my neighbor. Mike Schmidt lived around the corner. Gary Mannix lived around the corner. We would meet at a bar in South Jersey called Kaminsky's. And it was like, there was no set time. It was just, you may go there on the way home. And you're going to see some of the Flyers. You're going to see some of the Phillies. You're going to see some of the Sixers. It was kind of a cool time because I was a professional athlete, and I loved being around the guys. I went to Phillies games. I was a Sixers season ticket holder. I shouldn't admit that after last night. But I enjoyed sports. I enjoyed being around the guys.
Right.
To me, it was really cool that we kind of all hung out together and talked about our respective sports.
Yeah, that's what everybody talks about when they leave the game. You know, obviously, Father Time always wins, but when you leave the game, that's what everybody misses the most is the camaraderie with their teammates and just those after. Not so much the games; it's the after the party. Like
Yeah, you guys do this show. You talk to people every week. You've had unbelievable guests on this show, and I'm honored to be a part of it. But you're right. The first thing is, what's your greatest moment? You know, I could easily say, well, beating Dallas in the NFC Championship game. You know, an NFL record, 99-yard, 2 feet 11 inch touchdown pass to Mike Wick, which to me is the longest pass in the history of the NFL. But they can only go 99 yards. Ours was 99 yards, 2 feet and 11 inches. The ball was 1 inch from the goal line. Now I can say, yeah, those are the great moments.
Right.
But the great moments, looking back now, were the relationships. You start out the show with that. Talking about relationships with coaches, players. You know, those relationships last a lifetime.
Right.
And by the way, you know, we all know Dick Vermeil is going into Canton. August 6th, inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's a tremendous honor. I couldn't be more excited about that. I think I talked to the coach last week. We did a draft show, and he's got 385 former players already coming. That does not include the wives. So there could be a lot of buses leaving out of Philadelphia that first week in August. Last year, we had the honor of bringing Harold Carmichael into the Hall of Fame, and I was there, and I cried like a baby. You know, when I saw Harold win, it'll be the same with Coach Vermeil because I know how much those guys put in to getting there.
Right.
It's an unbelievable. It should be hard. You know, people say Harold should have got in earlier, and I agree. Coach Vermeil should have got in earlier. I agree. But it's hard. And when you go to the Hall of Fame, professional football, Canton, Ohio, it should be hard because you're recognized as one of the greatest of all time.
All right.
And now the coach. You know, like we saw with Brian Dawkins, we saw with Ty McDonald, to have our Philadelphia Eagles representatives in Canton Hall of Fame. It should be hard, but that makes it even more worthwhile when you get there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said, there's definitely gonna be some waterworks with Coach, the way he is, because he's.
You know, he'll be emotional, but you know, he'll control himself.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I've seen his speeches, heard those speeches, but
He's
they're
probably
electrifying.
more emotional for like you or like a Howard Carmichael who got in. He's probably more emotional for them and probably may not be as emotional for himself. Like, you know, like he's more about everybody else in mind. He doesn't like the attention.
We'll find out. I really don't know.
Right.
I know he can. I know how he was. You know how we've all seen his emotional state, how much he cares about people. I think he'll probably hold together in Kings. I think it's because people argue with Oliver, coach's going to get emotional. Well, to me, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah,
that's a good thing. People like put it as some weakness when a man cries. It's not a weakness.
No.
It's caring.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking Coach Vermeil, Hall of Famer. He's also got ties to Kansas City and the Rams, correct?
Yep.
You know, along with Philadelphia. But and we talk about this a lot. I know I dwell on it, but and you're a prime example. You stayed in the area, right? You're not from the Philly area. You're not from New Jersey. You know, talk about that a little bit, especially with Coach Vermeil. You know, he still lives out in Chester County.
Yep.
You know, he's a Philly guy through and through, like yourself. Can you talk about that a little bit?
You know, I'm originally my hometown's Lackawanna, New York, which is a suburb of Buffalo. I went to school at Youngstown State in Youngstown, Ohio. Played 4 years out with the Rams in Los Angeles. But when I came to Philadelphia, I realized what a really blue collar community that this was, and how much they embraced their athletes. Yeah. Was I booed? Certainly I was booed, but I was cheering an awful lot as well. And I think you appreciate that and respect that out of people. They can express their opinion. They paid a lot of money for a ticket. If they're not happy and you're having a lousy day, we're going to let you know it. But they'll be the first people to stand up and give you a standing ovation when you do things the right way. And I just thought it was a good fit for me and my background. Lackawanna was a steel town, hardworking. There are 20,000 people in Lackawanna, New York, and 19,000 people carried a lunch bucket to work every day. It was a blue-collar steel town, and I was brought up in that kind of environment. So when I came to Philly, I kind of sensed it was the same way, that people are going to respect the guy's work ethic, that he lays on the line every single play. And I was right. I was right. People in this town, you don't have to be the greatest player, but if you lay it on the line every week for your team, they will respect you no matter what the outcome of the game is. So I've always appreciated that out of the Philly fans.
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. And, it's just, there's so many players, and, and I'm old, and I throw it back to the old guys. They seem to be the guys that stay in the area the most. This young generation of players, we don't seem to have that. I don't know. We can't get close to them. Is that just a modern day sport? Is that something that we just need to get used to?
I think you got to live with it. Kind of an old statement. It is what it is. I love stories. We talked earlier. I still have an office at NFL Films. I haven't been there in a couple of years, but they kept my office there. And I learned from the great Steve Sable, who passed away a few years ago, who was the president of NFL Films. And NFL Films literally helped make the NFL what it is today by personalizing the game, showing the emotion of the players, down to not the X's and O's always, but what it's like, the cameras, the sound, all the things that they did. And Steve Sable, always say, hey, you got a story? You got a story? Be a storyteller. That's what NFL Films was always about. So that's kind of how I've always been, kind of a storyteller about this town, about the city, about my life, and things that I've been able to do, stories.
And you were never afraid to talk to the media, the press. It always just seems, that the guys back in the day didn't have the problems that the players have today. They don't want to give a story. They don't want to talk about a bad game, and when they do, they're defending something.
Yeah. And I want to get talk about Steve Sable. I say at my age now, you get these random thoughts. Some of the guys here, ladies, know what I'm talking about. But when you're talking about today's player, I'll give you a real life example. In 1980, I was the NFL MVP. I got a new contract from Leonard Tost and Jim Murray, the Eagles front office. They paid me $400,000. I still have the headline from the Philadelphia Inquirer: Jaworski, highest paid player in the NFL. $400,000. Right now, what did Aaron Rodgers just sign for? $50 million a year. I'm really not upset, but hey, I missed by a couple generations. But that shows where the game is now going, and I think the players are different because of that money. I don't care what anyone says. Money impacts players. Tom Brady just signed a deal with Fox when he retires. When he retires, a 10-year deal for $375 million to talk.
More than
I thought I did pretty good at that. No one paid me $375 million.
Hey, Carl, did I miss that in the contract that we?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
I got a cold Miller Lite here, and I'm happy to be at Dagwood tonight. I'm a happy guy.
There you go. He's making more in that contract than he did his whole playing.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah, just amazing. And I think his wife makes more than he does too. So, okay.
Exactly.
Lauren, I'm going to throw it over to you before the night gets away from us. You got some Facebook questions?
Good. You didn't turn it up? Is your volume on? Should be good.
Just yell, just like you're at a football game. Just yell.
All right, so we do have a Facebook question. They're asking if Jalen Hurts is our guy.
Is Jalen Hurts the Eagles' guy?
Yep.
Okay, everyone knows I've been somewhat on the fence on this, and I'm very clear about it. Last season, I saw nice incremental growth in Jalen Hurts. I don't like my quarterbacks to run as much as he did because when quarterbacks run, what happens? They get hurt.
Yes.
Defensive guys will come up and say, "Oh, I'm going to wrap you up gently and put you on the ground." No, they come up and they want to puncture your lung. They want to fracture your ribs. They want to bend your face mask. And your quarterback runs, he's going to get hurt. But I did see incremental growth as the season wore on. I was feeling good about his long-term prognosis. What I didn't like, and I called the Eagles-Tampa game for Westwood 1 down in Tampa, the wild card game, and he had a terrible game. And I can't sugarcoat it. I can't say it any other way. He had a bad game. He didn't read blitzes. The ball wasn't out on time. He wasn't checking the plays. It was a bad game. So I really, as much as I was projecting him to be a nice, solid quarterback, that game against Tampa really set me back. So now, hey, everyone has a bad game, but I always feel when you get in the playoffs is when your quarterback has to be at his best. I thought he had one of his worst games. So as much as I love the guy, he's a great locker room guy. Everybody loves him. I want him to succeed, but I'm being honest because that's what I do. I evaluate quarterbacks. I'm objective how I look at him. I hope he's the guy because it'll certainly solve a lot of problems for the Eagles if he evolves into the guy. But I can't say definitively, oh, yeah, he's our quarterback for 10 years.
That being said, show of hands. Jalen Hurts fans in the house?
I get that the half and half. I guess kind of, I think there are some games you go, yeah, he's our guy. And some games you kind of go, maybe he's not our guy. And like I said, I hope he works through it, but I want to see it. You show me.
We get that mic issue resolved?
I'm not sure.
No. We're definitely need to put in the budget for new batteries.
The new batteries are under the table over there.
Turns on. So
Yeah, it's weird.
anyways, don't worry about it.
All right. Any questions out there?
So I did get a question. They were hoping you could talk a little bit about your golf courses.
Oh, yeah. I can talk about that all day. I can't talk about my game. The question I usually get about my golf courses, and my golf company, I own 7 golf courses, 5 in New Jersey, 2 in Pennsylvania. And I really fell in love with the game of golf when I was playing quarterback with the Eagles. And Tuesday was our only day off during the season. And, when you're a quarterback with the Eagles or a player in the NFL, you always got people bugging you everywhere you go. What about the game? They cheered, they booed, yada, yada. You literally can't go anywhere. Tuesday was our day off. And my kind of sanctuary was go to a golf course. The only guys around were the 3 guys I played with. They were usually Randall Cunningham or Mike Quick, guys that I hung out a lot with. And we were just away from the fans, away from the media, just away from answering football questions. So it really became an area where I could just get away and clear my mind. As I moved on in my career, I ended up buying a couple of golf courses, and unfortunately, my wife and my son got involved as well. They do the heavy lifting. I just put my name on the shingle. They do the heavy lifting, and my handicap's a 12 right now, so obviously I'm not playing a whole lot. But I played, but I played off.
Right.
I do love the game of golf. I love the people you meet. I was just showing one of your restaurant tours here that I played with Charles Barkley back in September and showed Charles a swing, so it made me look good.
Definitely.
But it's things like that you get a chance to play with, a Charles Barkley and hang around with him. He's one of the most unbelievable, decent people, fun guys I've ever been around. He is just a really cool dude. You ought to get him on this show some night, man. He'd rock the place. He's, as we all know, he's open and honest and tells it like it is, and he's just a really cool dude, and I love him.
If you got any connections for that?
I got connections to everybody. Who do you want? Yeah, I know everybody.
We're just looking for 2 single-8 batteries.
What?
We don't need a golf course. We just need 2 single-8 batteries.
What? Yeah, I would have stopped on the way over. You could have let me know.
We are the true definition of a low-budget show. All right, Lauren.
She's loud, which is good.
I apologize, but I believe the man right there had a question.
You and that guy with the Jaws 7 jersey on, we like that. Thank you.
It's okay. If he doesn't work out, Jalen, do you think Baker Mayfield might be an option B, or do you think they draft next year?
I do not think Baker Mayfield will be an option. I think I think Howie did a really good job by trading our 3rd first rounder last year to get back in the first round next year. So if the Jalen experiment doesn't work, there's enough ammunition now with 2 first round picks And this was not a good quarterback draft year. I mean, Pickett was the only guy to go in the first round. All the other guys had holes in them. So it was a bad draft even thinking about a quarterback this year. Next year, I haven't started looking at those guys, but the guys that I know in the business, general managers, scouts, say it's a much better quarterback draft next year. So if it doesn't work out with Jalen, there are 2 number ones, which gives you a lot of ability to maneuver if you want to get one of the top guys. And Howie loves the wheel and deal. He did it with Carson Wentz. So although it didn't end well, it certainly started well.
Got us to the Super Bowl.
Got us to the Super Bowl, absolutely right.
So staying on that same subject, Jalen Hurts, the new wide receiver in town that we just talked about,
AJ Brown.
the relationship that they supposedly have, the friendship. Where do we take that as fans? What can we get out of that?
Again, we talked about in relationships. The word that comes to my mind is harmony. Football is the consummate team game. 11 players on every snap have to work in harmony. If 10 guys are magnificent and do their job, and one guy screws up, he just screwed it up for 10 other guys. So 11 players have to work in harmony. Now, I love the fact that Jalen and AJ are working out together, and all those things are rosy. It's May. It's May. Let's get real here. We'll start finding out when the pads come on, the defense is out there and play some good teams this year. We'll start finding out. But I believe football is a consummate team game. It's not only going to be Jalen and AJ, it's going to be the offensive line, the tight end, the running backs. That's what makes a football team. Then you go to special teams and defense, but it's one play, it's 11 players working in harmony.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Laurie, who are we at?
We got trivia.
Oh,
She wants trivia. Oh,
you got a
They
question?
just have to yell.
Well, we're micless, so you're either going to have to come up.
I'll bet those kids can yell. Mom's going, yeah.
All right, let it rip.
I had a question. I play quarterback in football. Can you give me some advice?
You play quarterback? Take up golf. No, that's great. I'm glad you're playing. And my son did not play football. He became a golfer, went to Delaware on a golf scholarship. And you got to let your kids make their decision. We all see it. We all want our kids to have great success in whatever sport they want to play in, but it's got to ultimately be their choice.
Right.
They want to play quarterback like you do. You want to play basketball and be a great basketball player. Even you want to play for the Phillies. I think it's great that you chase your dreams, but I'll just say this: you got to work hard at it. If you work hard, you can have great success in whatever you put your mind to. So you make your choice. But I would play golf if I was you. I'll give you a couple passes.
You play soccer too.
Soccer's a great game for kids.
all right. So we're gonna go with trivia.
We got a question right here. Let's address this.
Kind of like what you were saying with AJ Brown. Will he be only as good as Hurts, or can he make up for, some of Hurts's,
Well,
his deficiencies?
I play with a guy named Harold Carmichael, who's in the Hall of Fame, and his catch radius at 6'7" was pretty remarkable. I threw some balls that no one could have caught. Harold caught them. I mean, so it helps to have that big receiver. He's big. He's 6'2", 225 pounds, 66-inch catch radius. So you don't have to bust a guy in the chest. You can put it out a little wide, a little high, a little low. A.J. Brown has shown in 4 years in Nashville he can make those catches. So clearly, I think he will make Jalen looks better. He'll make the offense better because he'll catch balls that normal guys won't catch. And he has great body control, which a lot of times we don't talk about as wide receiver. He can control his body and contort his body in certain positions where he will make the catch and block defenders.
Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. O'Brien. Uh-oh, we got a Mr. O'Brien in the house.
I have 2 questions.
You're only allowed one.
He always does.
I've heard you've had 27 concussions. Is that true?
The rumor has it I had 27 concussions. That is incorrect. It was 32. So be nice to me. Yeah, well, actually, when I retired, now the NFL doesn't give you your records, your medical records, access to them. So after I retired in 1990, after 17 years, in the NFL. Because most people only remember my career here in Philly of 10 years. I went to Miami for 2 years and backed up Dan Marino. And I went to Kansas City for a year and played with the Kansas City Chiefs in 1989. And Howie Long blew my knee out. That kind of ended my career. But I went and met with Otho Davis, one of the greatest trainers in the history of the NFL. Unbelievable guy, kept guys healthy. But because you could never get your records, so I had to go to his office and I could peruse the records and my medical file by myself. And when I went through the files, I counted 32 documented concussions. Now again, there are different degrees of them. You get hit, and we've probably all been there. You bump your head and you see stars, so they would log that as a concussion. But there were only twice that I knocked out where I really felt that they were severe concussions. But Otho did his job and he documented 32 concussions. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Now, the second question, what was the hardest hit you've had, if you remember?
Oh, I remember the hardest hit. It was at the vet on a Sunday afternoon, about 2:38. 2:38. Mike Hartenstein of the Chicago Bears had a blindside shot on me and hit me right below my skull, above my shoulder pads. And I think it's about 27 hours later, I woke up in Paoli Hospital. So that was the hardest hit. He hit me pretty good. Oh, by the way, I played the next week out in Seattle because that's what we did. Nowadays, you go in concussion protocol, you could miss the season. But I don't know if that deserves applause or stupidity. I'm really not sure right now. But I made it to 71, so I guess I was probably take care of myself pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right.
Yep.
All right, we're about halfway through the show. Anybody has a portable mic in their car that they could lend us? I greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, Lauren's going to have to wing this. And,
I'm already on Lauren's list already. So.
Oh, yeah, he's already on it.
All right. So
when you're in ESPN, we got like 10 people sitting around doing nothing. They would have ran down to CBS. You had a case of batteries. We got to upgrade the budget here.
Yeah, we changed the batteries. I mean,
it's like, yeah. Did you hit like play?
I did.
I do that at home all the time.
All right. So our presenting sponsor is City Distilling. They're a local vodka company right here, probably about 5 minutes away. They've got a second anniversary coming up Sunday, May 22nd. And if I can encourage everybody to go out, they've got some phenomenal product. The vodka is...
Ron's already claimed it.
I feel like Vanna White, here in product placement. Yeah, look at this beautiful vodka we have, City Street. And I'm going to go visit with the guys. We're going to come up with the Jaworski Polish vodka, and we'll knock it out of the park.
There you go.
It'll go big on Dingus Day, that's for sure.
Dingus Day is a big day here.
I know it is.
Yep, that's a good
It's a
thing.
big Polish holiday.
Yep.
All right, I think we're good. I think we're good with City Distilling. I think we got the plug in. All right, where are we at?
All right, so we're going to do trivia. Yeah, we'll get that question later. All right, so
Don't forget to raise your hand. Don't get off the answer.
yeah,
Trivia time, folks.
yeah. Make sure you get your hands raised.
Half the answers have already been given out.
They have been. You were studying my sheet. And you were giving away the.
No, I didn't cheat.
No, that's you.
This isn't high school. I don't have to cheat.
But all right, so I'm surprised it took this long for this to come out when it did. Who was recognized as the person that gave you the nickname Jaws?
Doug Collins. Doug Collins.
I knew Doug Collins. I had Doug Collins.
They're supposed to answer. You
Oh!
these answers.
I tell you, I'm a really smart guy.
I had that.
I would win everything.
I would hope so.
Repeat the question.
32 concussions.
Before Super Bowl 15.
So that was never a nickname anywhere. Obviously, it was the Polish rifle and everything else, but like Jaws never came up in
No, it was actually at Youngstown State. I was called Rifle Ron.
that's
Then
another one.
I was drafted by the LA Rams in '73, the 37th pick in that draft. And I guess for the LA Hollywood crowd, Rifle Ron wasn't cool enough, so they named me the Polish Rifle. I guess they thought that was more cool. I guess. So I came here as the Polish Rifle, and like in the late 70s, the movie Jaws was obviously very prevalent. And Doug Collins was a next door neighbor, and he gave me the nickname Jaws. And so Doug was always in the meet as well. He's a Sixers basketball player. He came back as their head coach. Awesome guy, one of the most incredible people you'd ever want to meet. So he started calling me Jaws, and people asked me, "What? It's Polish Rifle." He goes, "No, it's Jaws." And people thought it was because of the movie. Doug said, "It's not because of the movie. His jaws are always flapping. He never shuts up." That's why I gave him the nickname Jaws, and it stuck.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
All right, so let's we're gonna stick with the Doug Collins theme, right? So it's a two-part question, and for an autographed photo of our guest, what number did he wear, and who now wears the same number on the current Sixer team?
I see somebody's fingers working
Two-part
pretty quick.
question.
There, he had the first hand up.
Number 20,
And now, George D. Okay,
Niang.
starting now.
You,
Is that right?
I didn't hear the
George
answer.
Niang and number 20.
And Doug Collins.
Number 20.
Number 20.
Okay, very good.
Yep,
Very good.
Is that a win?
that is a win.
That is a win.
There you go. There you go. I'm glad you came up with that one, Carl.
Right.
because-
I actually had my guy Joey in the back with the hand up first. So we'll get you on the next one.
All right, so
When
let's
you put this
see.
big monitor right in front of us, I can't even see the wonderful people out here. I'd like to see the folks.
I know. You can blame
Maybe they
that,
want to see me too. I don't know.
blame that on the guy to the right as well.
Yeah, it's my fault today.
You can blame for everything.
I do. It's okay. I got big shoulders. I can take it. All right. So, what year was Ron inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame?
1992.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the year?
1992.
That is correct.
Is that a New York accent? No?
Where's the remotes? They might have a double.
We have that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was right.
He was right.
All right. So let's see. Ron, you wiped out a lot of my trivia questions.
I told you I talk a little.
I know you
so
do.
Doug gave me the name.
All right.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's
So
all good.
here's one that you didn't touch yet. I don't think we haven't touched on it. Who did Ron throw the touchdown pass to in the Super Bowl 15?
Carmichael.
You're supposed to raise hands, and that was incorrect.
Yeah.
Keith, yep, you're correct. Good job.
Keith Krepley.
How long was the pass? Do you know? Because I'm sure you're looking it up on Wikipedia.
Googling it.
Yeah. It was an 8-yard touchdown pass.
A great throw, by the way.
Yes, it was. Hit him right in the hands. All right, and we'll do one more. Ron wore 3 different numbers in the NFL. Obviously, we know he no. Obviously, 7's an easy answer. We're not giving you that one. So give me one of the other 2 numbers that he wore.
16.
That is correct.
You said it, I'm sorry. You had to raise your hand.
Oh,
You had to raise your hand. You had to raise your hand.
so close.
You just blurted it out.
Here we go.
All right. So, Lauren, Facebook questions, crowd questions, nothing. Everybody knows we are mic-less.
Yes.
I got trivia question.
Hey, Dan Marino's here.
For,
What's up, Danny? Man, hair got great.
You played that too.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I know you know this one. It's a softball. Eagles draft 1982. They got Mike Quick. Who do they want?
Perry Tuttle.
I told you it was a softball.
Oh, what a softball. That was like 40 years ago when I got it. And Vermeil was upset.
And who drafted Perry Tuttle?
Buffalo.
You're the man.
There you go.
Who had the better
Useless information I'm really good at.
Dan Marino, who had the better career?
Tuttle or Quick?
Quick did.
Oh, Quick did, yeah.
Just ask.
Barry Tuttle was only in the league for like 3 years.
Yeah.
He was a bomb.
Yeah, we're
But the Eagles wanted him.
no, Coach Vermeil wanted him. He's glad, and we still bust stick in there. Yeah, you wanted Barry Tuttle.
Jalen Rager.
Yeah. Hey.
Justin Jefferson.
Hello. Hello. Hey. Now we're cooking here. That's what I like to hear doing, Dag. Let's get these guys fired up. Now, why are you a Marino fan hanging out here up in Philly?
Josh, you can pick up an autographed picture of him on the way out.
All right. I got a question, but why is a Marino fan up here? Why are you a Marino fan?
Dan Marino was a great quarterback.
I'm not disputing that. Why are you a fan?
Well, let me tell you what.
We lost control.
That's what I love. Instigating the
I got
crowd.
on the Dolphins bandwagon when Don Shula went from Baltimore to Miami.
In 1972?
A little bit later.
Well, a couple years earlier.
Well, I'm just thinking
But remember, 72, undefeated team.
That's why I was
Ain't
saying.
nobody getting near them.
That's why I was saying you jumped on. You jumped on in 72.
I can tell you, Don Shula. I spent 2 years with Don Shula in Miami, and they were two fantastic. And I was Danny's backup, so I wouldn't even play. I think I threw 13 balls in 2 years. But being around Danny is incredible talent. Don Shula is the winningest coach in the history of the ultra-competitive National Football League. I learned so much from that guy, not only about football, but about family. He went to church every morning, about how you treat people with respect and dignity. Now, he was a tough, hard-nosed coach, but I learned so many lessons in 2 years under Don Shula that have kind of kept me going for the rest of my life. He's that kind of a character, man.
Very cool. So I got a question for you. You had probably the best seats for the Wilbert Montgomery 1980 NFC Championship run
I did.
against the Cowboys. Pre-snap, what were you thinking?
I thought it was going to be a touchdown. Actually, I thought the first we had our scripted plays, and I thought the first few plays in our script, we had a chance for home runs, touchdowns. The first play of the game, we went play action, and I had Carmichael going to the post. Randy White broke free, and I couldn't allow the play to develop. He hit me just as I was throwing the football. So we thought we had a play that would score. We didn't get it to him. Second play, we knew when we spread them out, put 3 wide receivers in the field, and putting our fullback Leroy had some little bit of a pocket position. We could bring their nickel on the field. So the I-right slot split, 47 slant was the second play we had scripted going into the game. And when I came out of the huddle, I saw the way they were lined. I thought, we got a shot for this. Wilbert's going to get to the secondary because we caught him an off alignment with their flex defense.
Okay.
And I said, if Wilbert gets to the secondary, he could take to the house. I mean, Wilbert was, we all know what a great, Hall of Fame running back he was. But when he took that, it was the loudest, and I've been in the vet for loud crowds, loud noise. That was the loudest I ever heard Veterans Stadium. After I-right, slot split, 47 slant, on 2, Wilbert took it to the house. It was amazing. I can still see him running toward that end zone, all those fans standing up that end zone. That game was over.
Right.
That game was over at that point. Our defense was stifling. It was 15 degrees below zero. When the game was over, it was 85 and sunny.
Yes, it was.
I think Lauren has a couple questions in the room.
Always afraid of dogs.
So I wanted to know, you mentioned Shula, and you've obviously played with Dick Vermeil and Mary Campbell. You've had some really great coaches. What are your thoughts on Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, I like Nick, but I think the jury is still out. I think he's got a good coaching staff. And, it was last year was the first time ever he was a head coach at any level. High school, junior college, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Mount Union. And he'd always been a position coach. And he had a lot to learn. And I actually thought early in the year, he made some tactical errors by becoming a pass-happy team with a young quarterback. They were throwing the ball 48 times a game. I think when they finally found their equilibrium and backed it down to 28 times a game, ran the football, they became an effective team. So once he figured it out, I thought he did a really good job. He struggled early, but once he got it going, I think he realized he got to lean on his coaching staff. He can't do everything himself, and he became a better coach. Now he's got the year under his belt. And by the way, a playoff year. I mentioned I'm disappointed in that Tampa game, but no one expected, that we'd be a playoff team with all the change that was taking place. So I think he's done a really good job. Now we got to see, now how everyone assimilates into his schemes, his offensive, defensive schemes. He's got a good young coaching staff. It took a lot of heat last year early, but they all stuck in there, stuck together, and ended up with a really solid year. I like Nick a lot. He's a real honest, forthright guy.
Our little quarterback.
There you go. Put your hand up.
I just wanted to remind you that sucks.
You don't have to remind me of that. Very good.
He's the
Now,
future.
I got to like I said, I always got stories. Everyone, hates Dallas. It's like a given here in Philadelphia. Well, where did that start? Why? How come we have this hatred for Dallas? For me, it was kind of really simple. When I came here in '77, the Cowboys were really good. And when I was with the Rams, we lost to the Cowboys in an NFC Championship game and a playoff game. 2 of the 4 years I was with the Rams, we lost to the Cowboys twice. You didn't have to do anything to get me pissed off about the Dallas Cowboys. It was easy. I did not like the Cowboys. They stopped me one game away from the Super Bowl in 1975. So when I came to Philly, Dick Vermeil is now the coach. And hey, all respect and credit to the Cowboys. They were good. And Vermeil had gotten into our head that, guys, if we are going to be a winning team, a Super Bowl team, the team we have to beat is the Dallas Cowboys. So they were etched in our locker room everywhere. When the schedule came out, 2 big circles on the schedule, Dallas and Dallas, in Philly. So it was if we were going to become a really good football team and a Super Bowl team, our goal was to be better than the Cowboys. It was respect. It wasn't out of hatred, but we fueled on that, man. It was like freaking Dallas. It was Dallas week. It was Dallas week whenever we played the Cowboys. I think that just got the fans up into a frenzy when we beat them in the NFC Championship game in 1980. I think the fans came into that game knowing that we had reached the pinnacle. We're playing the Dallas Cowboys for the NFC Championship game, and we're going to kick their butts. And that was our feeling. But it wasn't out of hate for us. It was out of respect that we treated them as a team that we had to beat. And it worked out great. And I'm so glad that the fans have stuck with that for 40 years, that there's this, we compete, we respect the other opponent, but Dallas is something different, just something different. They bring out the best in everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We, for a while, I don't know, I think we might have run him out of the room. We had a Cowboy fan that used to float into a few of these shows.
How did that one
You
sneak
remember
in?
that?
I remember.
Right? I don't think he's been back.
No.
I don't know.
And and they were a playoff. Usually when the Cowboys go 4-15 or have a losing record, like Howard Eskin would always call them the cockroaches. They go high, and then they start winning again. They are back out in full force. And the Cowboys are gonna have a good team this year. It's gonna be the Eagles and the Cowboys this year for the NFC East.
Yes, I agree.
Well, there goes the prediction segment.
I'm always ahead of things. I'm sorry. About
You
that.
are.
He's
You
got
are.
the trivia down. He's going for predictions.
It's all good. Lars?
My mic is working.
No way.
I told you.
What happened?
She just had it turned off.
Let's do not put this on me. But I do have.
Wait. What happened? We went out.
I don't know. John just. gave me
Jaws loves
You
a
hit the-
story.
Yeah,
I know, you gotta be a
John just
story,
said
you know,
Gotta have a story.
Mike was working.
Yeah.
Volume goes up and down. You got that part. Okay.
It
And,
must have been the batteries. They finally.
Yeah, they finally work.
But I do have another question from the audience.
The Jacoby Dean debacle, if you want to call that, do you believe that there's something more to it, or going in the 3rd round?
You're speculating on an injury. I would never do that. But I'll tell you what, if you plug the tape, and if I had brought my laptop here and showed you 10 plays of Jacoby Dean, you'd go, holy smokes. This guy is a thumper. He will bend your face mask when he hits you. He's a downhill player. He can play every down. He's good in coverage. Most people that I spoke to in NFL draft rooms thought this guy was a 1st-round pick. Now, the pectoral muscle, hey, I'm not going to play doctor and say he's hurt, he's not hurt. The Eagles felt we're taking a risk at round 3, which is what happened. That's usually what happens with guys that are projected 1st-round picks. They fall in the 3rd round because they have warts, pimples, whatever, blemishes, whatever you want to call it,
right.
And like the quarterbacks all fell in the 3rd round because they each had a flaw. Now, they may turn out to be great. Joe Montana had flaws coming out of Notre Dame, but he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, drafted in the 3rd round. Third round is kind of where first rounders that have blemishes go. So I think Dean, and the health, I can't answer that. But if you watch this guy on tape, you get excited.
Oh, yeah.
Go to YouTube. That's it. You didn't even watch tape. They'll show you 50 shots. This guy's smacking people.
Do you think it's one of the best linebackers for they have years?
The game is changing so much right now. I don't put as much value on linebackers because every team's coming out. The value position now are wide receivers. And teams are coming out with 3, 4, even 5 wide receivers, not even a running back or a tight end in the field, wide receivers. So your linebackers are coming off the field. Safeties are coming off the field. People are going deep at the corner position right now because offenses are so wide open around. And receivers are so good. The quarterbacks, for the most part, are really good coming out because they're playing 7-on-7 down in the Midwest and Arkansas and Iowa and Texas and all those. And you got receivers coming in, quarterbacks coming in, and people. Hell with the running game. No, we're just going to sling it around and score every damn time we get the ball by throwing it. So it's kind of devalued the linebacker position to a certain degree.
I mean, you saw the Chiefs and the Bills game. I mean, 4 touchdowns in the last 2.5 minutes or whatever it was. It was crazy going up and down the field like that. Why need to?
That's what the game is, and you got to have the quarterback like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
That can sling it down the field.
And the schematic design.
Right.
And I actually think that's when I spoke about Nick. He was hoping he had that last year. He didn't. And that's why I said I think he misevaluated what the team was. The strength was the offensive line, good running backs, 4 good running backs, good tight ends. Dallas Goedert can block, and I think he just, once he figured it out, they became a pretty good offensive team with the higher ceilings.
Lauren, you have a question?
All right. So over the past week, we talked about, different things in sports, and one that hits home right now is the story that broke that Ray Didinger is retiring. You don't replace those types of guys. What did he? You have a Ray Didinger story for us? Something you can share in the room?
Ray never gave you anything they could make fun with, be negative with. Ray was the epitome of class. Ray was just, in fact, we had a phone call today. I'm on the Eagles Hall of Fame selection committee. So Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, Don Smolinski, we were on a call, and Ray and I are kind of the outsiders that are on the selection committee. And first thing, we're all just congratulating Ray, and we still can't believe he's going to retire. All right. He said he just got tired of working weekends for 50 years or 60 years, whatever he's been doing. But Ray is one of the most classy guys you would ever want to meet. And I got to know Ray when the media was a little bit different. Dick Vermeil had developed a relationship with the media. I mean, they were in our locker room all the time. It wasn't like it is now. There's a million outlets for media.
Right.
There were a couple of beat guys that, Gordon Forbes, the Inquirer, the Daily News with Ray Didinger. There were a few, I don't know, Angelo Cataldi was covering the team for the new South Jersey paper, So those are the kind of guys who were in our locker room every day. And we actually became, kind of to a certain degree, became friends with those guys. And Ray was always the guy that he formed a great relationship with Dick Vermeil. And we all trusted Ray because of that. He wouldn't throw anybody under the bus. And he would ask the questions that you fans wanted to know, but it was never in an inflammatory way. And just like when you watch Ray on Eagles post game and all that, there's no axe to grind. He's very deliberate and thoughtful. That's all he asks. We've all been coming involved with shock TV, shock radio, Stephen A. Smith, scream and holler. That's not Ray. That's not Ray. Ray, and if you really listen carefully, you're going to get really good information. So people like Ray Didinger are going to be missed because he gives you really good insight.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be missed on the post games. If not just on the radio, it's up and on the post games. He has a lot of insight.
And this Saturday will be in. I did his last. What's this series called that him and Glenn Macnow have been doing now for 105 shows? I did their show. We taped it last week. What's your story? What's your story? I'm sorry. 32 concussions. It didn't pop in my head. So I did that with Ray and Glenn last week, and it'll air this Saturday. So Ray said it was a great show. I don't know. I'll listen.
Laurie?
We have a question from the audience, gentleman Chris, right here in the Eagles.
I think first and foremost, we need to acknowledge that the mic is working.
Oh, yes, finally. Maybe just talk about your time with the Soul.
The time at the Soul was absolutely fantastic. So I was so happy to see a Soul jersey there when I came in the house. Jason is Jason, the Soul helmet. Jason played with the Soul. We won 3 championships. Bon Jovi was our partner. We had a lot of fun. It's pretty kind of cool to say, Bon Jovi was my partner. Right. Hang out at the bar, But it was so much fun, and I miss it not because I loved it and was a part owner of the team. I love being around the guys. It kind of kept me young. And when I see now, the USFL and all these teams trying to make it, what troubles me is there's so many really good football players out there, and they have no market, to play football. I mean, paid to make a living. Also, there's a lot of great coaches out there that could be working. Head coaches, assistant coaches, medical staff, front office people. There are thousands of really good. The NFL player misses the team cut by about that much, right? 1/10 of a second speed. Their 40 shuttle wasn't quite good. Their arms are too short. They got small hands. All that stuff but they could go play in another league and make a good living. So that's what I loved about the Arena Football League and what we did. And the players were the best. I mean, absolutely, we had fun. It was a great unity. We won. I mean, we sold out the Wells Fargo Center the first 3 years we were there. Yeah. Every game was sold out at the Arena Football League with Philadelphia Soul. There was a bump in the road with some teams folded, and then the league started struggling, and then COVID, and a million things happened. But the fans in this town were incredible about Arena Football. Just incredible. To this day, I can't walk. I see people here. I walk down. We missed the Soul. You're bringing them back. I don't think so. I'm too damn old right now to start another project. But thank you for asking. It was really, really. The fans loved it, and more importantly, I think the players loved the fans. I mean, Jason could tell you. You came to Philly, man. He got traded to Cleveland after and he could tell you. There's nothing like being in Philly. We had fights in the stands with players. I mean, it was crazy. It was old NFL football. It was kind of crazy, but people came to Philly. They were scared. And we like that.
So, Jason, you're not a Philly guy?
I'm from Los Angeles originally. I'm adopted Philly son.
Why are you wearing that LA hat here? You're trying to stir the pot. He is. They're gonna get mad at me, Jason.
All I have to do is wind you up, and we're good to go. Because that was my next question. I'm like, what's with the Dodgers hat?
I'm from Los Angeles.
I got you.
Keyword is from Los Angeles. They're in Philadelphia. Get him a Phillies hat here. Exactly.
No, it's all good.
He's getting the mic, so now we're in trouble.
So here's a funny story I'm thinking about, just putting together in my head. I'm from Los Angeles, and I grew up a Raiders fan, with dad and my parents. And knowing my family, I have a speculation, can't confirm this. But shortly after Jaws and the Raiders played in the Super Bowl in January of '81, maybe my parents were in a good mood, decided to go have some extracurricular activities. In September, 9 months later, I'm born. And maybe as a token favor back to Jaws in that game, my dad's like, here, you can use my son. He'll help.
So wait.
Hey, I've been playing for a lot of stuff, but I ain't saying I'm out. No, I'm out that one. Now, Chase, you didn't even tell me that story.
I heard my dad talking about that game and being a Raiders fan, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, Jaws played in '81. I was born in '81. The Super Bowl was actually in January, so that's my story in my head. I'm sticking to it.
That caps off our building relationships.
Yeah, I guess so. It was. Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff. Thank you. Again, Natalie and Sam have been running all night long. I hope y'all take care of both of them. There's a lot of folks in the house. The place is packed. I want to thank Ed and Nikki, the proprietors here at Dagwood, as I lose my voice. But, once a month.
Get it out. Let's go.
Once a month, we're back. We don't have a guest announcement for next month yet. This is a hard act to follow with Bernie Perrant, and then Ron Jaworski. So we're working the wires, and we'll have an announcement shortly. What is that date, Lauren?
June 15th.
Thank you, John.
Yep, June 15th, and it may not be, we may not have a guest, but it's going to be our 200th show. So it's going to be a little bit of a party.
You guys have survived 199 shows?
Well, not
Without
yet.
a mic?
I tried showing Lauren how to use it, but she just didn't understand.
I would like to mention one thing if I can. For 38 years, I've been running a golf tournament for my foundation, June 16th and 17th. And through this golf tournament, all these years, we've raised over $6 million for at-risk youth in our community.
Very good.
So we talk about guys staying in town, but I could not be more happy about the way we've been able to be supported by this community. We built ball fields, we've resurrected locker rooms, concession stands, uniforms. We've done everything because you people have supported the event. So I just want to say thank you. I know not only people here, but the listening audience that this event's very successful. And we're going to be honoring Dick Vermeil at the tournament. So
very good.
I got a lot of guys from around the country coming in from LA and Kansas City. It's going to be a special night for the coach.
Well, it's funny because Lauren and I were talking before the show, and we got to get with Jason, and we want to jump on board with the foundation and be part of that in any way possible. And we just made a huge donation to the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey last month. So we're looking to jump on board with you with our shows and raising money. So we'll be in touch with you and Jason.
It's awesome.
You know, talk about it a little bit more. You know, give us the course, the dates. You know, let's throw that out there one more time.
Plus, if there's a way people can, help, that's maybe not able to golf, but you can help.
Fortunately, and unfortunately, people want to play golf. We're sold out every year.
Wow.
Which is it's got I've had Tom Brady in, I've had Johnny Unitas in, you name it. I've had the who's who of football players, sports celebrities that love the golf. So we've had everyone at the tournament. That kind of helps raise a lot of money. But there's nothing more rewarding than go to Huntington Park and see these kids playing football on a turf field that a year before they were playing in mud and dirt. Because we were able to raise the money to build this field for those kids. And Hurricane Sandy ruins a field and concession stand in Benton, New Jersey. They were $35,000 they needed. Fortunately, our fund had money. Write him a check, get that field. Frankfurt, the Frankfurt Little League, some moron breaks into their equipment room, a shed, steals all the helmets and pads. I mean, what idiot, and I'm sorry, don't get me carried away. Goes and takes, I see these kids out here that, they want to play sports, get involved, and some idiot steals their pads and their equipment. Next day, I tell Trish, who's my executive director, we got the money? Yeah, we got the money. Get them new uniforms, get them new helmets, get them new shoulder pads. So that's because of the generosity of this community that we're able to do those things. And it goes a long way when you see kids like that they're going to get that sort of assistance.
Yeah, very good. Very nice.
All right. So as we wind down the raffle prizes, we draw those numbers around 8:00. Is that still the hour? We're still good with that. So you guys will have to stick around a little bit. But I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. You guys have been gracious. We've had an awesome guest. Can I get a hell yeah for Ron Jaworski? Come on.
I like it. Thank you. You got Vince Valley out here too. I think by the way, Vince's son, Vinny, he's got a son, is playing with the Tampa Bay Bandits in the USFL. Playing pretty well too. It's the same name, Vinny Vapali. Yeah. Catch a game when you see the USFL on.
Oh yeah.
Kids doing well.
Yeah, we gotta get them stars. They're 3-time champions.
3 times.
We gotta get them.
Jim Moran.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lauren, any closing thoughts?
So the only thought I had was I got an email, I think a couple of days ago, that while you might not be able to sign up to golf in the fundraiser that Jaws was just talking about, but they are looking for volunteers. So if you head to their website, you can sign up to be a volunteer. Comes with a polo and all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure you head to their website if you're available those days to help them out.
Thank you.
One last freebie. If you guys are looking for Reading Fighting Phil's tickets, we sponsor a game coming up May 26th. I'm horrible with dates. May 26th. We got free tickets. See Lauren. She can hook you up.
It's a Thursday. There's some fireworks, post-game fireworks.
Any free passes to your courses?
I gotta pay my people. Discount. Hey, Ramblewood it took me 15 minutes from Ramblewood Country Club in Mount Laurel to get here. 15 minutes, right across the bridge, right down Route 73. Riverwinds, Ramblewood, Running Deer, Valley Brook, and Blue Heron Pines outside of Atlantic City. Downtown Country Club and Honey Run Country Club out in New York. So if you're around the area, they're in great shape, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Tony, what do you got? You got anything to close with?
I just want to thank everybody again for coming out, and then also make sure you get your free raffles. You got them, and June 15th. It's not going to be June 8th. It's June 15th will be the next show.
June 15th. Set
So,
your clocks.
So normally we're here the second Tuesday. Second Wednesday of the month, but this is going to be the third Wednesday. So it's going to be June 15th instead of June 18th. Why, you ask? Because June 8th, we will be in Reading. That's wrestling night, and Kevin Nash will be there. So a little plug for them if anyone's interested. Kevin Nash is going to be there. They're giving away a bobblehead. Scott Hall was supposed to be there as well. But they'll be raising some money in Scott Hall's honor. So that's where we'll be June 8th in case anyone's interested. But we'll be back here June 15th.
And if you guys have one trivia question left,
Yep.
I'll give a foursome for any Ron Jaworski golf course.
Okay, I'm not picking who puts their hand up. I'm out of that. I'm out of that game.
Well, if the gentleman on the free pass has got to answer,
Jason will do it.
he's got to answer
Jason,
the
you gotta
question.
pick who puts their hand up
All right.
first. So,
You got,
you gotta pick who puts their hand up
gotta
first.
pick,
I'm
you
not
gotta
here
doing
we
this
got
game.
the free
I'm not doing
passes.
this game.
But you got to earn them. We just don't give these things away. There's thousands of dollars right here. Well, hundreds.
It's getting serious. He's got his glasses on for his Wikipedia.
So I'm not picking the questions. I don't want to be biased, but 4 free passes to Ramblewood Country Club. And go ahead, guys. You asked the question. Jason, you're the judge.
Yeah, you
Got a question?
All right.
Who's the star quarterback here tonight?
All righty. So we had, here we go. So since we said Ron had more 3 numbers in the NFL. 16 was already answered. Who is the third number?
What is
Or what
the
was the
third
third
number?
Not who.
Pete?
guy.
He is
17
correct.
is correct.
He is correct. There's a winner, Jason.
Winner, Pete.
7, 16, and 17. I wanted to wear 7 in Miami after I left the Eagles, but Fuad Revez was the place kicker, and he was going to charge me to take the number 7. I wasn't paying him squat. So I said, no, just put a 1 in front of 7. I'll wear 17. Yeah,
A stinking.
yeah. He had a longer career in Miami, so I put a 1 in front of it on 17.
All right, folks, I don't know where the hour went, but we sure did have fun. Can I get a hell yeah for our guests?
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on June 15th. Make sure you take care of the servers and bartenders and everyone involved around here. They did a phenomenal job tonight.
You guys.